back to another episode of the MonkeyBoy Presents the DC Comics Superhero Collection by Eaglemoss. Today we have issue number 14 for you, Supergirl, and I am, as always, your humble host, the MonkeyBoy, aka J to his friends. Thank you for tuning in, and this is an interesting one for me. I wasn't expecting this figure this soon. I'm glad to have her. I like Supergirl. She's an interesting character. This magazine in particular will feature the most modern incarnation, at least at the time of this publication, of Supergirl. Basically the more modern age one. It's not the Golden Age Supergirl that most people are aware of. She died in the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Suffice to say, this is the most recent interpretation of the character, much like Tim Drake was at the time the most recent Robin. Anyway, without further ado, we will cover the magazine, giving you everything you need to know about the character, and as I said, it will not cover the, 80s version of Supergirl. It's the more modern version. And then we'll take a quick look at the figure itself, giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's an interesting issue, folks. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you once again for tuning in. And here is the DC Comics Superhero Collection by Eaglemoss, issue number 14, Supergirl. First up, we have the character section, where we learn a little bit more about Kara. And it's here that we learn about Kara Zor-el. We find out that she is Superman's cousin. Her father and Superman's father were brothers. We learn that Kara's fate was very similar to her cousin's. Her father was aware that the planet was going to explode because his brother, Superman's dad, had made him aware of this, so he too built a spacecraft to safely transport his daughter off the planet. After this meteorite crash landed in Gotham Bay, Batman, of course, was on the scene to investigate and found these Kryptonian markings on the outside of the hull and a girl inside, so he contacted Superman immediately. And Batman and Superman sort of became her surrogate parents in a manner of speaking. Wonder Woman also got in on the action, and she actually took young Kara to Paradise Island and trained her in the ways of Amazonian fighting techniques. While she was still training on Themyscira, though, Darkseid stepped in and actually kidnapped her away, attempting to brainwash her into being one of his soldiers. It also talks a little bit about the time that Lex Luthor actually managed to split Kara into a good and evil version of herself using black kryptonite. The next couple pages talk briefly about the fact that she sort of struggled to find out who she was and where she belonged. She was a member of the Justice League Reserves for a little while and fought with them on a couple of missions. She also served with the Legion of Superheroes in the 31st century for a while as well. And while Kara is struggling to find her place in the world, she then discovers that there are more to her powers than she originally thought. So, having learned the truth finally about her origin, she felt this great relief kind of come over her. She went and lived with the Kents at Kent Farm for a while and treated them like parents, and they treated her like a daughter. She got to know the current Wonder Girl very well, and the two became really good friends, and that's what moved her back into the city. The two got an apartment together and started working together as allies on the current version of the Teen Titans. It also talks about how she briefly joined back up with the Legion of Superheroes, and even went gallivanting around the galaxy for a little while with the bounty hunter Lobo. Next, we get to take a look at some of Supergirl's classic storylines. First up, we have Superman, Batman, Supergirl. And this was the new origin story for the new Supergirl. It covers basically everything that we just learned about her in the origins section of this, where she's sent from Krypton, she crash lands in Gotham Bay, all the way up to and through the point where Darkseid kidnaps and attempts to brainwash her. It's a great story, beautiful artwork by Michael Turner, really, really worth a look. Next is Supergirl Identity. And this is just that. It's Kara trying to find out who she is on the planet Earth. It sees her dating, going out to clubs, trying to interact with other superheroes, and we also see her learn the truth about why she was sent to Earth. Finally, we have Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes. And this is really just a fun, beautifully illustrated adventure. It finds Supergirl somehow ending up in the 31st century, and she becomes a member of the Legion of Superheroes, and they love her, they embrace her, and she finds a place in the universe. It's really a fun read. Next, we meet some of Kara's friends and foes, and on the front page we have her surrogate family there. And the next page has a really cool shot of a young Kara with her father, Zor-el. Supergirl's iconography section features the other incarnations of Supergirl, at least a few of them. We get to see the clone of the original Supergirl, who was known as Matrix. It also talks about another Supergirl who claimed to be Superman's daughter from the future, a girl named Zor-el. And finally, we have the Linda Danvers version of Supergirl. And lastly, the original thinking section continues the DC timeline with Part 5, The Golden Age of Atlantis. During this time period, we learned that the Homo Magi were using their powers for good and were increasing their numbers across the planet. And we also learned that thousands of light years across the galaxy, a geneticist named Bertrand decided to start experimenting on an alien baby to create the ultimate weapon. We also learned that 200,000 years ago on Krypton, a scientist there had created a machine known as the Eradicator. Alright, here is Supergirl. She's really nice, I have to say. She's a very nice addition to the line. Definitely a step back from the Scarecrow, but I mean, that's going to be a hard one to top, honestly. But, you know, they capture Supergirl perfectly here, though. I love the pose. I love how they have her standing there as though the wind is blowing her, like her cape looks like it's billowing in the wind, her skirt, her hair. It's a nice little effect. It's very cool, very iconic. The detailing on her face is very nice. She's cute, you know, she's cute like Supergirl should be. The hair I have a little bit of an issue with. It's hard to do long hair and make it look like it's billowing in the wind and everything. It almost looks like too much, like almost Farrah Fawcett, you know, Charlie's Angels too much, but that's a tiny little criticism given the scale of this figure. Overall, I think it's great. I love the shade of blue. It's the exact shade of blue of Superman, and the different shades of red are nice. She has these glossy boots, and then it's a really deep, deep burgundy on the underside of the cape, and the flip side of the cape is a nice deep red a la Superman's. Again, we have the painted logo on the back. They kind of cheated the logo on the chest a little bit, but it does have some details. There's a little bit of the red there on the top, and the red shield there peeking underneath. I love the finger detail there, though, on the crossed arms. It's really nice. You can also see the cape doesn't connect to her back. It's a totally separate piece. So overall, she's very, very cool. Love having Supergirl to the line. More pictures here in just a second. Supergirl stands atop the DC logo, and on the underside of the base is her name and serial number. And for the fun of it, I took a picture of her alongside of her cousin, Superman. Overall, she's a really great figure. I mean, you know, if you're talking level of detail, yes, she's a step down from the Scarecrow. However, this is a faithful interpretation of the character, and it's perfect for her. You know, Scarecrow is an intricately detailed character by design. Supergirl is, much like Superman, a much simpler, heroic-looking character, so there's not a whole lot to her. But what is there and what is on this figure is really, really well done. I love how it looks like she's standing in the wind with her skirt billowing and the cape blowing and her hair and everything. It's a great-looking pose. She's cute. You know, it's hard to do female characters sometimes and make them look good. She, like the Wonder Woman, looks really, really good. I mean, it's an attractive-looking figure. The paint application is great. I love the logo on the back of the cape. I love the choice of the costume. I really love that gold around the edge of the cape. It's a really nice feature of that design of the figure. Her hair is a little big for my taste, but that being said, it's hard to take a comic book character with straight, golden, wavy hair and mold that into a lead figurine. So, all that considered, it's a really nice job. It's my one little nitpick. The ugly, I haven't heard anything ugly about this figure. There's really nothing on her that's all that fragile. If you're a picky collector like I am, though, you're going to want to check the face first and make sure that it's a nice-looking face. There aren't, like, crossed eyes or anything like that, because I have seen that before. Overall, though, she's a really nice character. If you're a fan of the Superman franchise, she's definitely one to get. It really looks good on the shelf with Superman. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode. I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Also, stay tuned after this because I have a quick teaser for the next issue coming, and I love it because we're getting into the less mainstream heroes and villains coming up. It's really, really cool. So I hope you enjoy that. Hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you again for watching. I am your host, MonkeyBoy. We'll see you next time.